So today I'm going to try to do some lives and we're going to talk about some of the trucks that I would purchase in today's market and kind of why. Let me get this board moved over. I got a dry erase board. And y'all, when I talk about these trucks, I'm kind of going over like what, from my mechanical view to what they cost, market value, what it's going to cost me to drive that vehicle, all of those things, trying to take all those things into an account, and then also kind of my preferences on what I would purchase. And so anyway, I've had a lot of questions on that, so today I want to try to cover it. And as y'all know, today, my number one truck is the Ram RHO. Okay? We're going to do the 1500 segment, and then I'm going to do the 3/4 ton segment. I'm probably going to need to get a better color or get this closer where y'all can see it. Let's get in a little bit closer here. Okay. All right, I'll try to make this a little bit bigger for y'all too. So when I'm looking in the market, kind of what I want right now, and I'm in the half-ton segment. Like I said, we'll go into the 3/4 ton segment and kind of talk about the things that I would purchase. And like I said, guys, I don't do lives all the time, so it's probably one of the first ones I've done. So bear with me a little bit on technology and trying to get this right. Y'all know the Ram RHO is probably one of my top preferences for truck. Right now it's the best driving, a lot of features, all those things. Of course, I'm not going to put the TRX up there because it's not available today, but what would be my next choice truck, let's say, if the TRX wasn't coming out, and I think this might surprise y'all. Ford Raptor R. Okay? Why I like these sport trucks so much. They're wide, they drive good, they feel a little bit more like a 3/4 ton, but also give you that sports car feel when you're driving them, and I really like that. And the one thing that I like about these is they don't require a ton of modifications. You go buy a stock 3/4 ton, and I know some people don't do anything to them, but I really like the way these trucks look from the factory, and so that's one of the main reasons. And I'm going to say the Ford Raptor R, it's missing some features that the RHO doesn't have, but one of the things that I really like about the Raptor R is it comes with 37s. It comes with a selectable exhaust, and you can get the V8 in it today. And then one of my buddies just bought one, and they're getting 15 to 17 on the highway running 70, 75 miles an hour, which is pretty good for a V8 Raptor. Okay, so I think Ford has done a good job on the Raptor R. If the TRX was not coming out, this would probably be my next selection. Okay, now beyond that, we're going to move to the next level, and my handwriting's terrible, but anyway. I think the next truck that I would own under these would be the Ram 1500 Tungsten. Why? Because I really like the power plant, and if I'm getting out of the V8 and going to go back to the 6, that Ram 1500 Tungsten is a really nice truck, and it's probably the most luxurious interior that I've seen on the market, hands down. And the power of that Hurricane in that Tungsten is pretty impressive. And I put a lot of thought into these guys. I mean, like I said, looking at the market, if I was moving from one and couldn't get the other, this is the order that I would choose. And of course, it's just my opinion, right? The next one might surprise y'all. I would buy a 1500 Denali Ultimate, but I would not buy the 6.2. I would buy the diesel. So if I'm getting out of the sport truck, I'm getting into luxury. I really like the Denali Ultimates. I think they're a really nice truck, and I really like that little diesel. That's 700 miles almost range per tank in that truck. And it has the hands-free driving, and it has the heads-up display. And there's a lot of things in that truck that I really like. So that's what would move that truck up for me, and that's kind of that's where I stand with these. Now, the next one that I would look at purchasing if I was moving down the list in the same order is I would probably buy the F-150 Platinum Plus with the 3.5 EcoBoost, which I think is the only way those come anyway. Okay? We're going to pay credit to that EcoBoost engine because it is a 3.5, gets really good mileage, it drives really good. And in the Platinum Plus, I'm pretty sure you can still get the Blue Cruise, which is hands-free driving. You still get the heads-up display. You get all of those things in that truck. And so my next move, if it was going down the list, we got the Ram RHO, Ford Raptor R, the 1500 Tungsten, the Denali Ultimate Diesel, and then I would move down to the F-150 Platinum Plus with 3.5 EcoBoost. All of these are really good trucks. None of them are going to have any, I mean, I've researched all of these vehicles. I think that I would supremely enjoy driving any of those on the market today. I like the Platinum Plus interior, and I even like the Platinum regular interior, so it doesn't necessarily have to be the Plus, you know, if you want to save a few grand and get one of those. But all the technology and everything I would be looking for is in here. The only vehicle that lacks is the Raptor R with the massage seats and the hands-free driving, okay? So that's kind of my half-ton segment that I kind of wanted to cover. You know, if I'm looking at vehicles, I mean, these are vehicles that I would be excited to drive all day long. And those are pretty, we'll just leave those up there. We'll do the HD segment next, okay? Now, this is interesting, and I don't really, the number one HD truck, and this is from my towing, pulling, y'all know I put 37s on them, I've driven them, best riding, best driving, seemed like best turning radius, and all of those things. Today, if I'm not pulling a trailer versus 2500 versus 3500, I would look at the 2500 Denali Ultimate. And I'm going to give that truck, it has the heads-up display. It does not have hands-free driving, none of the HDs do. But it has the power tailgate, it's got the speakers in the tailgate, it's got a lot of features, but one of the things I really like about the Denali Ultimate is the ability to have all-wheel drive all the time. So if you're in snow, you're in bad weather, you can run that truck in auto, and because it's independent, it's IFS, and no other HD is going to give you that option. Now, there are some mechanical things that make me a little leery about this truck, okay? Fuel control modules, valve bodies, things like that, right? And so I would probably pass it over. I honestly think this is the best looking truck on the market right here, 100%. But I would probably pass it over because of those 2 or 3 things that they've got to get fixed. And GM just hasn't seemed like they've worked to get that done. So right under that, and I would probably skip this one, but this is probably one of my favorites on the market. I would buy an F-250 Platinum Plus in star white. And the dealer has one over here that's exactly the way I would order it. I drive by it every day. Y'all, there is, here in Victoria, there is a black Denali Ultimate loaded, and there is an F-250 Platinum Plus sitting on the dealer lot, star white, the exact way that I would order them. So I drive by those every morning, and I look at them, and I do turn my head. Very nice trucks. You know, I've just kind of gotten used to the half-tons, guys. And, you know, the thing I will say about the F-250 Platinum Plus and the Power Stroke is it's pretty proven. And, you know, I look at things that would break down and leave you on the side of the road, and you don't have a lot of that here with that 250 Platinum Plus. You really don't, okay? Now, value-wise, I would jump to the Ram, for sure. The Ram HD, if I'm looking at a truck that I was going to keep 100,000 miles, and I'll put that disclaimer in there because if you're going to go long term, you know, whether you need an extent, you know, anytime I've ever bought a Ram, I was like, with the Cummins, I don't really think I need the warranty that bad. You know, like This, if I was going to drive it 100,000 miles, I would put an extended warranty on it. This, I would put an extended warranty on it. But the feeling I've always got with the Rams, and I've had lots of these HDs, guys. I've had mega cabs for years, probably over the past decade. I've had a few of them. And I've actually put some miles on these Ram HDs. And I had a 3500 with the 8-speed, which was really nice truck. I really enjoyed that 8-speed. And the power upgrades and them getting rid of the grid heater and all the things that they did. The only reason that I didn't keep that HD was because I literally picked that RHO up. And I was just going to do content on that one for like 3 months, 2 or 3 months while I was waiting on my order. After I drove that truck, I sold all my trailers. I'm like, this is what I'm going to drive every day, okay? But I don't want to take anything away from this truck because that Ram HD 3500 was a really nice truck. Now, what I will say, and there's a difference here, is if you're going to do some towing, on the F250 versus 350, it's a set of overloads and a little bit bigger rear axle, okay? And the same thing on the Denali Ultimate, you get a set of overloads on the 3500, okay? If you're not towing, don't get that towing package. It's going to ride better, okay? Same thing here. If you get the F250, if it's got the high capacity carrying, which this F250 in Victoria does, so it has the overloads on it. So you've got the 1-ton springs. Today, I'd rather have something that rides better. I don't have any big trailers anymore, so I would want the F250 without the overloads. I would want the 2500 Denali Ultimate without the overloads. Now, when we talk about what rides the best, right? If you're not towing big trailers, let's say you've got an 10,000 pound boat, you like, and there's no lie, a half ton is going to pull different than a 3/4 ton. 3/4 ton is going to feel more stable, okay? One of the things that y'all can always go look at is go look at payload. The higher that payload is, the worse that truck's going to ride, okay? It's designed to carry the weight, okay? Probably the best riding truck out of all of these versus the Denali Ultimate, the Platinum Plus, and the Ram HDs. And I've had all these late models, so I'm trying to give you all this information in a short thing, right? The Ram HD 2500, with or without the rear air suspension, because you get coil springs without the rear air suspension, you get leaf springs on the 1-ton, but you get airbags or coils on the 2500, y'all. This is probably the best riding truck on the market. Now, the 2500 Ram will have the least amount of payload, and that's the reason that it rides so good, okay? So if I decided today that I was going to come out of a half ton and I was going to move into a HD, and I wasn't going to pull any big trailers, and I wanted something that rode really good, okay? My number one in that situation would be the Ram HD 2500. Okay, you go look at a Power Wagon with the Cummins, you go look at the Rebel, you look at any of those trucks with the lower amount of payload, those trucks are going to ride really good. And go test drive it, and tell the dealer I want to take the 80 psi out of the rear tires and put it down to 55 or 60. And any of these trucks, because they all come with 80, 90 pounds in the rear tires and they ride horrible from the dealer. But I would just say that this Ram HD 2500 is probably, if I was moving back into an HD today, it would come out of the RHO and probably go into that. Just because that 8-speed is so smooth, I like the redesign of the engine and that the rear axle rides. It's not because I'm a Ram fan. Y'all know I'm a Ford fan also. I've got tons of Fords, right? And so, I will answer your questions in the comments after this live's over. I can see y'all posting stuff, but I just can't. It's small text. My eyesight's not what it used to be, so I'm going to have to put my glasses on, look at that, and get those answers for you. But I'm just trying to give you all, my 30,000-foot view, and this is all just my opinion, right? I mean, all these trucks are great trucks. None of them are really going to disappoint you, and you can get a bad one from any brand, right? You read this or that, people had problems. But overall, I really like all of these. Just kind of wanted to tell y'all where I stood. And, excuse me, sorry. On the Ram HD, it would probably be, honestly, it would probably be the Limited for me, just because I've always liked the Limited. But I would really weigh heavy on it because I'm kind of a chrome guy. I do like some chrome. And those new grills on the Laramies, 2500s, with the chrome grill, everything else is blacked out. I really like that, and I like the wheels that come on those. So Anyway, like I said, just kind of wanted to go through the list today in my head. I mean, the HD segment, we've kind of covered that, and y'all know where I stand on the HD segment. Like I said again, the Denali Ultimate 2500, there's a black one over here. It literally probably is one of the best looking vehicles. Ram definitely always has the interior for me. This Platinum Plus is a second runner up, but as far as dependability and that power stroke and the 10-speed, they've been pretty good. Ram, the new 8-speed seem to be pretty good. But anyway, and I think, the Denalis and the Denali Ultimates, the 6.2s, I think GM's worked out some of those problems with the 6.2 engine. I hadn't researched that 100%, but I know they did come out with an updated version of the Duramax, and one of my family members has one of those, and they've got almost 30,000 miles on it, and it's been amazing. I mean, just a flawless engine. I think it's in a Yukon, and it gets, 20, 22 miles to the gallon, sometimes 23, depending on how you drive it. And to get that range and to get that out of it, it's pretty good. The Ford will have softer seats. Probably the number one seat out of all of these trucks is right there. I would say the number 2 is right here. And I would say the number 3 is right there. And I think that goes for the half tons also. Just as far as if you like a truck that has a little bit stiffer seat, Denali Ultimate's going to be you. If you like one that feels like you're sitting in a lazy boy recliner, the F250 is going to be you. And if you like right in the middle, a little bit of support, but not extremely soft, then the Ram is going to cover that. Again, Ram interiors, they've just won it for me over and over again since 2019. I really like those. They were always missing the massaging seats, but they brought those in. And you do get those in the tungsten also. You do get them in the limited trim. So just lots of things to think about when you're looking at these trucks. That's kind of my view on them. Like I said, any of these half tons, I'd be excited to drive any of these today and have to do very little modifications. And when we talk about modifications and lift and wheels, tires, all those things, I mean, for example, this Ram RHO right here, comes with 35 stock. Don't have to do much to it. Okay, you want to put a leveling kit on it? I mean, guys, we're looking at a set of iBox springs for, under $500. You can literally buy this truck, put a $500 leveling kit on it. It looks amazing, right? And throw some tires on it if you want. This is where the Raptor R shines. Hopefully the TRX comes out with a 37 package this coming year. But the Raptor R, to me, that's one of the only trucks I think that I could purchase and not do anything to. I mean, you get the 37 package, you get everything that you want. Like I said, it just doesn't have the massaging seats and the hand-free driving. Hopefully they put Blue Cruise in it and they do a few things. The tungsten, I'd probably put some tires on the stock wheels. The Denali Ultimate, same thing. Stock wheels look great on those. I like those. I'd put some 33s, maybe some 34s on there, maybe some Nitto Ridge grapplers. Same thing on the F-150 Platinum Plus. But you get into these, you're looking at a little bit more money on leveling kits and lifts, where these sport trucks are pretty much already ready to go. Very minimal expense to get those looking kind of how I like them to look. Some people want to drive a stock truck, that's perfectly fine too. But for me, that's just things I think about. And then you get in HDs, we'll talk about, if you're going to do, I think Magui's, if I said that right, makes a 4-inch now. Cognito, if I'm recommending any kind of suspension, I would always do the 4-inch Cognito on the Denalis. You really can't go wrong with that 4-inch Cognito. I like the replica wheels, the 22s, or if you get those, I think they're LZO, the black 22s. Man, you can put like some 37 1250s or 37 1350s on those stock 22s. And the cool part about that is if you're not towing, now if you are towing, the stock 22s will limit you because those tires are lighter ply in that 22, right? And so you get a little less load rating when you get into the 22s on these. So if you do go up to a 22 on here, you're going to lose some of that load rating on your tires, but you're going to get a little bit better ride, okay? Turning radius and towing with this truck has always been the best for me. Pulling a 50-foot toy hauler, going down the highway, I just feel like, it's just on rails. Now, I did have the 2500 with the updated springs, the 1-ton springs on the rear, and I had the AirLogic airbag kit on it. But that's the same thing I put on the Ford, same thing I put on the Ram. And the difference between the Ram on the 25 and 3500, this pulls on rails too, but you need to get the 1 ton if you're going to pull anything really heavy. I would say any fifth wheel. I think the 2500s are a little soft in the back for those, and it just kind of feels like you're, moving around a little bit. Those leaf springs are the ticket, but you do sacrifice some of that ride quality. So anyway, I hope this video helped y'all some today. Like I said, I'll try to get on the comments here in a little bit and answer some of those in the bottom. But appreciate you watching and sticking with me for my first live. I really haven't done a ton of these, so and I'm working with the guys, the other YouTube guys. We're going to do a couple more of those videos where we all get together and talk truck stuff for y'all. So anyway, and I appreciate everybody hitting like and subscribe. Guys, we had 60,000 subscribers last night, and my goal is 100, hopefully by the end of the year, and everybody is definitely helping me get there. If there's anything I can help you with, got any questions below, drop them. We will catch y'all on the next video.